And we're live. Ben, how's it going, man? How you doing? The XP. This is true, Godzilla. Nothing may last in this world, but the XP farm is forever, baby. Merlin, how's it going, man? Basak Frank, how's it going, man? How you doing? Nagito, how's it going, man? Before anyone says it, I'm just fixing chat right now. There we go. I anticipate the day we read 1222. I am waiting for my wife's delivery. Um, 1222 will likely be Sunday or Monday, Godzilla. Because I'm not gonna stream tomorrow. I may or may not be able to stream on Saturday. I should be able to stream on Sunday, and then Monday and on I should be okay as well. Yeah. So we'll see. Lee, how's it going, man? How you doing? Wow. Okay. Cool. Okay. So S. I sinus yes, I gave it today. Nagito. That was so awkward. Yeah, it is. Fine. Yep. SPXI spur. SP Spirit. Okay, cool. So SPII. So SPXIT. Okay, hold on. So no one say it if someone knows. Okay, no one say it. I'm gonna get this. Split. Show me the money, baby. Let's go. You know, Easy's gonna return. Dude, I just saw Easy went live. Man, I cannot avoid scheduling conflicts with Easy to save my life. Oh my god. I try to schedule them out as far as I can, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, we both kind of we have like limited times to stream, so it kind of eventually. Where is he? Yeah, no, I saw the title, Lee. So, okay. Shape, makeshift. Tangle. Net. Snare web. Joe, man, how's it going, man? How you doing? Okay. Kettle. Kettle, tea bag, cup, water. I just checked. Can we read up to 12:14? Yeah, we can do 12:14. Yeah, no problem. I just the message that Luvion sent said 12:12s, but we can do 12:14 instead. Yeah, that's no problem. Ice caps. Okay, no. Steel, nails, Rock Diamond? I don't know. It's not... Nagato. Maybe we should call you the fucking, maybe we should call you the conspirer. My god. Always on top of it. Oh shit, I got that? Oh my god. Associated with hardness. Dude, oh, hard as nails, hard as rock steel. Oh. Makeshift cyberspace caps. What would it be? Cap space tab shift. Oh, like keys on the side of your keyboard. Ending in keys. I don't know how this be phrased. Ending with keyboard keys. Yay! Let's go. We hit those 4 for 4. I think that was a perfect game. I don't think we made any mistakes that time. That was amazing. Man, it's so sad. We still play Lexicon, but username has me blocked now, so it's kind of funny. He's the one who introduced me to this, and now he's not here. Such is life, I suppose. Point finger? Oh. Point arrow? Nor neither, none, never. Okay. Never point. Signal. Damn, I was hoping point and signal. Ramiro, how's it going? Damn, Nagato, that was short-lived, eh? Oof. Damn, Nagato is, I appreciate it, Nagato. You're getting more, you're getting chiller. Appreciate it. Sheesh. Nightwalker, how's it going, man? Okay. Oh my god, I keep thinking, like, I'm hearing voices and I'm like, dude, am I fucking losing my mind? Why do I keep hearing voices? It's in the, because it's Witcher 3 music, so it's like NPC talking. Oh my god. Like, I'm like, dude, am I in Discord? What the fuck is going on? Okay. Never point. Direction? Fuck's sakes. Never point. Point. Maybe instead of point as in like pointing, maybe it's referring to like having a point in your like dialogue. So point thesis maybe? Fuck. I just drove 5 hours across Morocco. Oh, that's so cool, man. Morocco, I know, has like really cool architecture. I didn't know about anything else. Ardor, target. That's a good idea. Okay. Well, this is something. By the way, welcome, Ardor. How you doing, man? Okay. Never arrow. Never direction map. Lost. GPS. I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. Point. I keep thinking like pointing at something. That's why I went with finger to start with, because I thought that would work. Ooh. Damn, I'm sleepy. I did so little work today. I'm actually sleepy. I went to work for a solid 45 minutes. There are like endless hills and there's some small mountains along the highway. It's very beautiful. Oh, that's awesome, man. Okay, there we go. Big target point thesis. I don't know. I have given up. Let's get started. You know what we did? We went 2 for 2 today for the. We went 2 for 2 with the. with New York Times, so we're just gonna leave this here. The long-awaited Serenity. Oh, we got the Planeswalker formula from Dorian. Okay, got it. I think it's slightly off center, but close enough, baby. That's it. Alright, let's go. Leave legends in 9 places other than this planet. Isn't that the cosmos? Looking at the potion formula in his hand, Klein nearly frowned. He felt that this was more dangerous than the advancement ritual of Miracle Invoker. Although the box of the Great Old Ones and the 2 Grade 0 sealed artifacts of the Abraham family, as well as a number of Grade 1 artifacts, had the ability to send people to the cosmos, making the ritual appear simpler, he remembered that the Church of the Evernight ascetic leader Ariana had once warned him that the cosmos held extremely terrifying corruption. It was dangerous to even be understood before becoming an angel. One will be corrupted by the cosmos if they aren't a planeswalker. And to become a planeswalker, one has to walk the cosmos. This seems like an impasse. How do I resolve that? Perhaps the Abraham family has records of safe locations in the cosmos. I have to use divination to verify the authenticity of this formula when I'm back. Thoughts on Amon last stream? I'm not gonna lie, Amon is kinda whatever. I'm just disappointed in Palez. Bro, he reached the level of sequence 1 and just immediately got one-tapped? Come on! You were supposed to show us that, like, oh, I have survived Amon for centuries, or whatever. I am capable of so many things. And it's like, blah. Come on, what the fuck? Dorian not lying to me doesn't mean that he wouldn't be lied to. Klein retracted his gaze. Where are the Planeswalker characteristics? He asked. After having memorized the fool's name, Dorian thought for 2 seconds before saying 2 of them are in the form of Grade 0 artifacts in our family. 1 is in the form of the box of the Great Old Ones. 1 is said to be in the hands of the Demoness sect, while another is in the is with the Church of God of Combat. There is 1 more, but no one has found it since the Second Epoch. So wait, that means there are 2 in the form of artifacts, 1 there, 1 in the Demoness sect, 1 with the Church of God of Combat. And so there's 6 sequence 2 characteristics. We don't know how many 1s are currently in use, so to speak. If I could use the box of the Great Old Ones to exchange for one of the relatively normal Grade 0 artifacts of the Abraham family, I wouldn't have to worry about advancing. I wouldn't have to worry about obtaining the Planeswalker characteristic. However, that ritual is a problem. Besides, the essence of this ritual is clearly having to leave a mark in the cosmos. No matter how many changes are made, I won't be able to bypass the cosmos. Survive for centuries, everything has a limit? Yeah, but you had to run into your limit as soon as the protagonist showed up, Arthur? Come on. Oh, Ramiro, true. Yeah, I remember that. I think that was like around the time that, I don't know, I think the reason I thought of that, I think it was like, we were talking a lot about the moon at that point, and I was like, I don't even know how the fuck to explain this to her. I was like, oh, I'll just say astronomy. And she was like, and then she obviously turns, because she's 4, so she turns around to me and goes, what's astronomy? And I go, I'll tell you about it when you're a little older. I hope you can find the answer when the crimson moon becomes full. Karen then disappeared, having with Forrest having reached her limit. Upon seeing Gehrman leave like that, Dorian subconsciously looked at the piece of paper with the honorific name of the fool, realizing that it too had disappeared. Dorian was unable to find the correct answer from the various powers recorded by his family. He turned to look at Forrest, opened his mouth, intending to talk to her. "Bog, how's it going, man?" At that moment, he felt a sudden pain in his heart as his pupils dilated. Oh no, the curse is about to act up. Dorian hurriedly reached into his pocket to retrieve a small metal bottle. He gulped it down. His actions were so hurried that the lid of the bottle fell to the ground. Forrest watched as her teacher's face turned pale. She watched as he clutched his chest. As a former surgeon, she came to a quick conclusion. "Are you having a heart attack, teacher? Do you have any special medicine?" After asking the last question, Forrest realized she had been too anxious and concerned, making her seem a little silly. "Senta, how's it going, man? Caring about your teacher dying makes you seem a little silly? Bro, I hate this world. Come on. Everyone's like, oh, I must be reserved at all moments. My teacher is dying. I must approach him at a leisurely pace, no more than 3.5 kilometers per hour, or lest it seem that I care too much. Like, what the fuck is any of this?" The bottle that the teacher drank was definitely a special medicine. "Kami, how's it going, man? Do you need any help? I have recorded a doctor's powers." Forrest asked when she saw her teacher having recovered. "Luvion, how's it going, man?" Dorian shook his head, indicating that he was fine. After some time, he sighed. "It's because you didn't do as I planned and directly summoned Gehrman, causing me not to have time to drink the medicine." Sonia Sea, the capital of the Rorstad archipelago, the city of generosity, Bayam. The Blue Avenger docked at the port in the evening. During that period of time, the damage brought to the sea traffic around Sonia Sea by the Lord of Storm had finally attracted the actions of the Faesak Empire's demigods, and many captains had died in the line of duty, and their fleets had suffered a severe blow. Alger Wilson and his crew avoided this attack while hiding in the primitive forest of the island while waiting for an opportunity to attack the port. After the Church of Storm and the lone naval army declared their goal for this battle has been achieved, they returned to Passu Island to rest. Mr. Doe would be disappointed? No, shot. Mr. Doe would be like, "Damn, that's my grandkid," or whatever, I don't know, or that's my successor, bro. For real, for real. Devil, how's it going, man? After that, Alger deliberately engaged in a battle. He appeared pious, passionate, and fervent. This was because he was familiar with the area around the Rorstad archipelago, and without a doubt, he had been sent here to strengthen the naval forces. Of course, in order to avoid conflict with his past identity, he also made preparations for other matters. Alger and his crew arrived in Bayam in the name of recruiting pirates. Devil, are you locked into your cultivation bullshit? What are you locked in for? In this war, many pirates were recruited, effectively making up for the losses of the navies, just like the recruitment of mercenaries during the early and mid stages of the Fourth Epoch. Taking advantage of the fact that there was still some light in the sky, Alger got off the boat and headed straight for the Sea King Jan Kopman Cathedral of Waves. Prosecution? Oh, Devil is the prosecutor. Yes. I hope you suffer. Wait, what? Isn't Ramiro one of the judges? He can't be this biased. This is cooked. As a Sequence 5 Ocean Songster, he had the right to directly meet the Church of Storm's Cardinal, a high-ranking deacon of the Punishers. As he walked, Alger saw a face, a middle-aged man wearing a formal suit, a bow tie and glasses. Alger knew that this man was a believer of the sea god Kulvatua. He had once been a pirate, and now he was a merchant that did business with both authorities and the underworld. "Long time no see, Ralph," Alger greeted. Oh, we've met Ralph once before. I feel like Alger talked to him once for some other fucking reason. I can't remember. Oh, I see. Is OG the only judge now? Most cultivation is trash, but there are some gems out there. I've been reading one, Sky Pride, and it's fire. Oh, cool. No, the only one I do want to read is Reverend Insanity, not gonna lie. That's the only one I have any interest in reading at the moment. Obviously, that's an interesting one to pick up because it's long as fuck and unfinished. But, you know, the heart wants what the heart wants. Ralph was stunned for a moment as he couldn't recognize the captain of the Blue Avenger. Alger? Our captain of the ghost ship? After a few seconds, he asked in surprise, "Have I changed a lot?" Your temperament has changed, my friend. It's even more like the ocean before a storm. Quite a keen eye. However, this is an act. After consuming the Ocean Songster potion, if there wasn't such a change, I wouldn't seem like someone from the Church of Storm. Alder sighed, because there are too many things to worry about. Now it's all good. I've already been hired by the Church of Storm. Ralph narrowed his eyes as he laughed. That is indeed a good thing, if there was no war. When did new school appear? He could see at a glance that there were 4-story buildings, a cement field, a garden lawn, and many children happily playing outside. The children had dark skin, but some of them didn't have bronze skin like the locals. Their hair was only slightly curled, and it wasn't too obvious. Without a doubt, they were mixed-blood children. I love how they say, you know what this reminds me of when they say mixed blood? It's like mixed blood in Harry Potter. If some motherfucker says I spoiled Harry Potter, I'm gonna actually fucking chuck my fucking coffee cup across the room. Holy fuck. Ralph looked back and smiled. Didn't you donate money to the charity foundation? Under God's guidance, yes, Godzilla, that was the term. Yes, thank you. Under God's guidance, I established a few schools in several large cities on the island, specially providing education, 3 meals, and accommodation for these discriminated children. Tanab, how's it going, man? Man, we don't use them much, but I fucking love the Pepe emotes. Oh my god. Like, both of these, I find these so fire. I love these ones. I feel like the only one who uses them often are like Tinab and Justin. I feel like are the only two that stand out in my mind. Our childhood was gloomy, and I don't want it to be the same for them. At the same time, Ralph responded. Alger kept staring at the school. When Ralph was done, Alger looked away and said, "I thought you would have at least taken half of it." Seems like I have left a terrible impression on you, my friend. How is it? What opinions do you have of the school? Do you think I've been to a school before? Alger replied. Ramiro, easy. Boy, come on. We don't discriminate like that. We only discriminate against clankers, okay? Fuck them. Wrongs, how's it going, man? That's an interesting time to walk in, huh? Jesus. He paused for a moment before saying, which street is your charity foundation on? I might come to you for something in the future. Thinking that the other party had been hired by the Church of Storm, Ralph didn't dare expose his connection to the Resistance as he chuckled. It's fine to donate, but you don't have to come for anything else. After coming for the location of Bro, what do you... Wizards are humans, what are you talking about? What? That's not a word, Godzilla. I'm not afraid of them. I just hate them, okay? Phobia? Yeah, I'm not scared of them. After giving the location of the charity foundation, Ralph returned home as he went up to the 2nd floor and reported, Lord Danitz, I have something to report. Lord Danitz? That's 2 words that don't ever go side by side. Excuse me? Lord Danitz. Tell me this is a typo. Someone is reporting to Danitz? The same Danitz who I'm thinking of? The guy who has 4 brain cells? On like a great day? What? In the room, a deep and dignified voice replied, "Come in." Jesus. Ooh. Man, he got that one more potion, and immediately he's like, I see the truth of the universe. Everyone shall bend a knee to Lord Danitz. Who the fuck is this guy? Backland, Sherwood Borough. Dorian, who lived in a rented apartment, walked to the window as the sun set. The crimson moon would be full tonight, and the curse of the family would descend yet again. He is a... Isn't he now a Sequence 5 Godzilla? Isn't he a Sequence 5 now? Oh no, I think you're right. No. Conspirer is 6, 5 is Reaper? Is that it? It has been a while since he shaved his beard. Around his mouth, on both sides of his cheek and lower jaw, there was a white mustache growing. It appeared out of place with a middle-aged man's appearance. After looking for a while, Dorian bowed his head and recited in Jotun, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era." After ending his prayer, he returned to his room and found a sofa to sit down. He waited for the moon to rise, and for the period when the spirituality was the strongest to arrive. At that moment, in the ancient palace above the grey fog, Klein sat in the fool's seat and beckoned a paper figurine. Conspirer 6, Reaper 5. Oh, okay. Damn, I got that off rip. That's goated. The paper figurine was surrounded by the power of Sephira Castle as it passed through Dorian's prayer light. During this process, Klein deliberately didn't show any effects, allowing the angel to silently embrace Dorian. Wait, you're telling me Klein always shows them the angel covering them as to like aura farm extra? He felt that if Mr. Fool would appear too bombastic, it would scare this ancient family member. Bullseye, how's it going, man? So he chose to keep a low profile. The waiting process was always torturous. From time to time, Dorian would take out his pocket watch, click it open and take a look. He wanted to know how long before the full moon possessed its highest spirituality. This was something that could be inferred through mysticism knowledge. So wait, what does the entire Abraham family do on like blood moons or full moons or whatever? Like they just have to sit there and just like get yelled at for 2 hours straight by Mr. Dory, who's like, "Get me out, you worthless fucking losers! What are we doing? I spent my whole fucking life getting 2 Sequence 1 characteristics or some bullshit, and you motherfuckers can't even get me out! You guys are fucking useless!" And you just have to hear that for 2 hours straight. It's unironic. Oh my god, you know what it is? It's unironically an unskippable cutscene from your parents when you go down and you go to get something and your mom or dad are just in like a really pissy mood and they're like, "Sit down, we need to talk." What the fuck? And they're like, "Listen to me, what are you doing with your life?" And you just have to sit through this unskippable cutscene for like 2 hours and you're like, "Oh, kill me, please." They have to do this like twice a month? Oh my god. Like 4 is when she was trying to stay alive. Oh, awful. Finally, when it was almost dawn, Dorian instinctively bent down to reduce the pain brought by the curse. However, as time passed, all he heard was silence. There was no ravings. As the crimson moonlight passed through his window and shone in on Dorian, he looked up in a daze and felt that his surroundings were calm, serene, and indifferent. Nothing happened. Dorian looked out the window at the crimson moon. It was pure, dignified, gentle, and dreamy. After a moment of silence, he lowered his head and took out his pocket watch. He raised his right hand and rubbed his eyes. He covered his face and didn't loosen his grip. The white mustache on his face gradually became messy, stained with tears and snot. Aw, he's crying. He's like, we have a chance to save our family. Dude, Mr. Fool is actually goated. He's giving hope to the people of the Forsaken Land of the Gods and the Abraham family. Actual goat, dude. What kind of parents do you have that you're mutated and half dead after speaking to them? I mean, not half dead, but like definitely mutated. Like madness definitely starts kicking in by the end of that. If it's like a 2-hour lecture, holy fuck. By the end, I'm just like, please just let me walk out of here without saying anything. Because I'm like, I'm right on the urge of just like losing my shit and just like being like, what are you talking about? Like there's, and then just start, and then it's just a fucking yelling match both ways. So you just sit there and you're like, Lord, grant me thy serenity to get me through this. Holy fuck. I don't know. You guys ever, I don't know, maybe it's just my parents. I don't fucking know. But like, you guys ever have that when, like, everything's going fine. You didn't fucking do anything, like, extraordinarily shit. Like, maybe you fucked up something minor, like, you know, as you do, no problem. But then, like, for one day, they're having, like, a really shit day, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna take it out on this guy. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Inside the room, the crimson glow was like water that soaked every corner. Dorian slowly lifted his head and looked at the full moon outside the oriel window. He didn't look away for a long time as he was admiring a beautiful scenery. He let out a breath, stood up and entered the room. He turned on the tap, held up a mouthful of biting cold water and splashed it on his face. After washing up, Dorian wiped his face with a towel and returned to the living room. He lowered his head and muttered, "Praise be to Mr. Fool." After completing his prayer, he walked into the study, took out a pen and paper and wrote to Fours. "Please tell Mr. Gehrman Sparrow that I have confirmed his promise. I hope he can find a better way to resolve the curse. I will gather the other members of my family to discuss if I should use one of the 2 Grade 0 sealed artifacts in exchange for the box of the Great Old One. Here, let me introduce the 2 Grade 0 artifacts so that Mr. Gehrman will have enough time to consider which one he would like. One of them is called the Scroll of God. Take this one. Scroll of God, immediate fucking 10 out of 10. I don't even need to hear the... Fuck the other one, give me that one. It looks like an ordinary oil painting in a brass frame, but its contents will change at random. When it shows different locations, the wielder can change the surroundings of the target, allowing the corresponding scene to descend. When it shows different figures, the wielder can allow those people to attack their target with one target per figure. When it presents an abstract image that cannot be understood, different or real effects will happen, and the only thing we know about the corresponding relationship is a very small portion. When it depicts doors, opening different doors will move one to different places. There is no way to predict where the destination will be. It can be used to exile. When it shows the dark underground or the deep cosmos, it will be extraordinarily dangerous. It must be sealed. Jesus Christ. If no one is looking at it or takes in the marvel of the oil painting, then the person inside will come to life and they will reach out their hand from the oil painting, slowly entering the real world. One must pay attention to this when sealing it. Once upon a time, when one of the family branches were in charge of the Scroll of God, there was a mistake. Ramiro, 3 months, man. Thank you so much. You fucking go. Oh my god, 3 months. That's fucking nuts, eh? 3 months, that's end of March? No, what? Fucking end of May, Jesus. Thank you so much, Romero. My first member ever. My go. Man, we've come a long fucking way, huh? 3 months ago, I don't know, maybe today, maybe somewhere around today, 3 months ago, we got our first ever member, and now we're at like 50. Not even counting the fucking rain that that happened during the volume ending stream. Holy shit, that was a crazy stream. No one wait, hold on. Once upon a time, when one of my family branches were in control of a Scroll of God, there was a mistake. No one appreciated it for a full minute. At that moment, it presented the image of an angel revolving around a deity. Then the deity came alive and walked out of the oil painting. What? A fucking god just walked out of the painting like, haha, this is all I've been waiting for. What? That branch of my family was destroyed like that. There were only a few members remaining who had lost their minds, while that deity had gone somewhere else, but that painting was left behind. We have been worried for quite some time, afraid that the deity would destroy the world. Fortunately, he never appeared again. Perhaps he has already been noticed by the 7 deities and dealt with. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility that this is a story made up by those who lost their minds. However, for most of the members who seem to have died overnight, with a small number going mad, that itself implies plenty. Never mind, I apologize, we're not going with that one. I don't even need to hear the other one. We can go with the second one, that's no problem. That's a dog shit, it's a dog shit artifact. I don't even know what the fucking positive of having that piece of shit is. Like, I feel like they should just burn it and just be done and be like, we don't even need this. We're better to have no artifacts than that one. What? The other grade 0 sealed artifact is called the Staff of the Stars. Its appearance is like a black cane with embedded gems. That is exactly what Mr. Fool needs. Even if it does nothing, it's just purely for aura farming. Mr. Fool holds onto a cane studded with gems, and he's like, and they're like, wow, that's a cool cane, Mr. Fool. And he's like, it is the cane that can destroy the world if one puts their mind to it. But it depends on the weapon and the man. The fuck? I just thought it was a nice walking stick. What? While holding on to it, using corresponding scenes in your mind, one that truly exists and is still in existence, the staff will directly teleport you to your destination. But one must be careful. The scene depicted must be absolutely correct, every detail accurate. There can be no discrepancies with the original, or you will never know where you arrive. Similarly, while holding onto the Staff of Stars, if some Beyonder powers or figures appear in your mind, this cane will reenact the corresponding power in person. Klein has to get this. Klein has to get this. This is amazing! He doesn't even need to pull out, he doesn't even need Creeping Hunger at that point. Because Creeping Hunger is like, oh, I switch between different powers of different... It's just like an infinitely stronger Creeping Hunger. And you don't have to torture any people for it. Kind of based. You just walk around. They're like, Lightning Strike! Blah! Get cooked. To achieve such an effect, one has to have sufficient understanding of the powers and figures, or you will have no idea what kind of anomaly will happen. Once someone used the Staff of Stars to release Lightning Storm, but he ended up turning himself into a frog. Recovery was only possible once the method to remove the curse was found. The Staff of Stars is sufficiently hard and can be used to attack. Oh my god, can you imagine? Not only can I like hit you with a staff, but like you're like, oh, I'm just gonna back up because like that staff hurts a lot, and the guy just goes lightning bolt. You get fucking struck from the heavens. A person struck by it will randomly mutate or suffer strange effects. Even that's not even physical touch has effect, bro. Klein needs to get this. Klein needs to get this. Previously, I used the Staff of the Stars to hit a Beyonder from the Aurora Order. The left side of his body was moved outside a door and his right side remained where it was. His organs splattered out. Romero, how did you guys feel about what happened to that guy? Tell me about him. Tell me about his story. Do you guys have a legend of Steve, the fucking elevator mechanic who just got split open? The Staff of Stars will randomly move about if it isn't properly sealed, and it may disappear at some point in time and escape your control. Nothing big here is a Rose Bishop. Ah, lowly. We do not care. Someone so weak. He can survive. Oh, you're telling me Steve, the elevator mechanic who was split open, is still alive? He still exists? Like, you guys are just like, hey Steve, remember that one time a fucking Sequence 7 just fucking split you in half? Loser. When holding it, one's head has to be empty most of the time. This is because once an image appears, it can trigger the effects I described in the beginning. This is perfect! Because Klein can most of the time give this to a marionette who doesn't have any thoughts because they're dead. And then when he needs to in battle, he fucking yoinks it or like switches over to the marionette and it's like, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. I'm sure there are other cool powers, but nothing in my mind is as cool as a lightning bolt or like a light of the heavens just fucking coming in perfectly and just fucking just decimating an entire area like a from like a paladin or something. Oh, that shit is so goated. If there's nothing holding onto it, all sorts of abnormalities will happen around the Staff of Stars. It's hard to predict what will happen. It must be sealed. Guess you did. Yes, Kami, we played Mage Arena. No, Divine Light can, because Divine Light doesn't do any damage, Romero. If Divine Light did like a massive AoE damage where it landed, that's what I'm talking about. It's hard to predict what will happen. It must be sealed. Burn upon reading. Klein has to take that one. It would fit so perfectly. Even with Miracle Invoker, I feel like it would fit perfectly. Because like, oh, what is a miracle? A miracle is a seer being able to reproduce the powers of whoever he wants on a fucking whim. That is a fucking miracle. Although I guess, in fairness, it's going to be like, oh, miracle? Coming back from the dead is a miracle. And of course, Klein has done that already twice. So that means he has pre-digested this potion. So as soon as he drinks it, he's going to be 90% digested. And he's going to be immediately looking for the Tentative Mysteries potion. I fucking know it. I don't even need to read the rest of the book. I can just fucking tell you what happened. I'm so good at it. After writing the letter, Dorian read it several times to make sure there was no mistakes before sending it away. At that moment, above the grey fog, Klein, through the prayer of light, watched Dorian's entire process of writing the letter. I seem to have forgotten to tell him that he can pass the corresponding information to Gehrman through Mr. Fool. Oh, that's good too. I'll just treat this as a benefit of being a formal member of the Tarot Club. Tushar, how's it going, man? This cane is better than all the cane mentioned in Cane before. Okay, so what's the origin of the Blasphemy Slate? So when the original creator died, he just thought it would be really cool to pass his powers on. So he just like in his dying breath was like, "Oh, I will leave behind the 10 Commandments for Beyonders," and he wrote all the potion formulas or some bullshit. I don't fucking know. If every believer were to do this, I wouldn't be able to cope if I didn't have any Worms of Spirit in Sephira Castle. Yes, this can also effectively maintain Mr. Fool's prestige. It will ensure that the Abrahams won't dare belittle Mr. Fool. Klein mumbled before turning his attention onto the Grade 0 artifacts. Sequence 8 Swindler? Tee-hee-hee. He once again confirmed that the Grade 0 sealed artifacts had severe negative effects and couldn't be used as common items. Of course, their powers had extremely terrifying and potent effects worthy of Grade 0. In comparison, the Staff of Stars is much more suitable to me. I can get Miss Justice to hypnotize me in advance so that my subconscious won't appear in the form of an image or a scene. Only by consciously willing it into my mind will I be able to form the outline of a scene. If I were the residents of the City of Silver... I wonder if the residents of the City of Silver will be able to leave the Forsaken Land of the Gods with the Staff of Stars in their hand just by outlining the scene of Bakland streets. But there's no way to hypnotize them before this. They've never seen Bakland, and even if they restore the scene, it's difficult for them to outline details. It's so troublesome, but I can give it a try with a volunteer who isn't afraid of death. Everyone is afraid of death, Gehrman. If I can exchange for the Staff of the Stars, there's no need to rush to shatter it and turn it into a characteristic. Who knows when it might come in handy? After all, the advancement ritual might not be completed. With the Staff of Stars, I can deal with the Dark Demonic Wolf and escape the Forsaken Land of the Gods right under Sasrir's nose. This will give me a little more confidence. Wait, hold on. But even with the... Why does Klein think he would be able to teleport out with the Staff of the Stars? Wouldn't I would assume that whatever it is that's preventing what is the Box of the Great Old Ones from descending into the Forsaken Land of the Gods will probably prevent the Staff of the Stars from going up. But they're both sequence 0, Romero, so they should both be sequence 2 of the Apprentice pathway. I feel like Klein's miscalculating this. Because if one sequence 0 can be stopped, the other should be too. That was, if some members of the Abraham family followed Dorian and switched pathways to Mr. Fool, even if he were to return the Box of the Great Old Ones to them, it wouldn't be difficult to borrow it in the future. In other words, out of the 3 Grade 0 artifacts, the Staff of the Stars, the Scroll of God, and the Box of the Great Old Ones, he would gain the right to use 2 of them and the ownership of 1. It's still very useful to develop believers. When the time comes, wouldn't the Abraham family be a subordinate faction of the Tarot Club? That is so goated, though. An ancient family who once stood on the same level as the current ruling families of like Einhorn and fucking Augustus and whatever, is now a sub-member of the Tarot Club. Like, oh, that is so goated. Dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna make a church. Oh my god. But I'm sure Dorian won't spread the faith of the Fool so quickly. Unless some members are already on the brink of losing control, without the ability to resist the next full moon. For some reason, he felt that the powers of the Tarot Club were expanding. Also, he tried to send the box to the Great Fog. That's true, but in my mind, Romero, that would make it easier, not hard. I mean, obviously, I'm arguing with people who fucking know the answers, so like, you know. But in my mind, the Great Fog supersedes basically everything else. The Great Fog even the Great Fog seems like it's on a similar sort of level as a Grade 0 sealed artifact, maybe even higher. So like the fact that he was using the Great Fog would make it easier, not harder in my mind, but He thought about it seriously and felt sad that he would have to respond to his believers 24 hours a day in the future. Only by becoming an angel and gaining true ownership of the Sephira Castle did he dare leave a few worms of spirit behind. If that really doesn't work, I'll get Eridus to be my artificial intelligence customer service. Damn, look at that. AI, even in this world, is taking Klein's Worms of Spirits jobs. Bro, AI is cooking across the multiverse. Late at night, in the waters of the Rorstad archipelago, a huge sea monster quickly swam to its destination. This was the helper that Alger had requested from sea god Kalvatua. At the level of an ocean songster, he was unable to control a creature of this size. In truth, he could totally swim from Bayam, but that'd be too tiring. A few seconds later, a sea monster appeared and opened its mouth. Alger swam out and approached the beautiful coral thicket. After circling a few obstacles, a dark blue glowstone appeared in Alger's eyes. Through this dark blueness, he saw a beautiful coral palace, so real that no one could see it unless there was a specific medium. Alger stared at it a while before swimming forward. He came to the front of the palace and pushed the door open. The churning avatar came to a halt as Alger passed through the barrier and landed on the ground thanks to the wind. He looked around and saw that there were murals on both sides. The contents of the murals weren't surprising. The people, with elven faces, mainly focused on resisting the storm. Alger, however, noticed that the ships weren't out at sea, but in the thick of a mist nearly indestructible blackness. This made Alger think of the Abyss. This is somewhat similar to the Abyss as spoken in legend, but it's just a little similar. And there aren't any devils either. They seem to be coming from underground. These murals record the history of the elves, but they don't match the corresponding myths. The world said that each elvish word corresponds to a first-generation elf. As Alger pondered, he walked towards the 9 steps ahead. Romero, bro, you say that, but like, I was talking to a friend about this who, he was like, dude, do you understand that like it's gonna be one fucking guy who's gonna be like, God, like AI girlfriends are like garbage, like no, that shit's like ugh, whatever, like no one would ever use them. It's gonna be one fucking guy, and there's gonna be like one update, and it just fucking clicks, and some guy who's like who's never talked to women, who just has like a profound fear of talking to women, is just going to be like, oh my god, this is it. And that's actually going to be like life for like millions of people. It's actually so cooked. Like, we're not that far from it, which is so terrifying. Oh my god. On the coral branches, silver bolts of lightning flashed, illuminating the surroundings. As Aldrich held his breath, he slowed down his pace and went up to the stairs to the throne. Extending his right hand, he solemnly picked up a coral. With a splashing sound, the seawater outside the palace churned. As for the coral, under the cover of the dark blueness, it gradually turned illusory and merged into Aldrich's body. Lightning bolts bloomed one after another like flower petals. Bro, the wings of the fool are about to become demigods. This is gonna be so good. And we already got some kinds of... Kami, that's an exaggeration, right? I have to believe. Can't be true. Oh, okay. Sorry, I ate too much. No, come on, please. It's like 1260 something, Godzilla. I don't remember the exact number. Nightwalker, stop, please. No. In the Forsaken Land of the Gods, at night, when the frequency of lightning was low, a few humanoid creatures cautiously approached a meatball with 6 legs and more than 10 eyes. They were wrapped in animal skins or clothes with materials that couldn't be identified. With the help of a few lanterns, they passed through the endless darkness. On their faces, there were about 10 or 20 tumors. Some of their eyes were nearly squeezed together, while others didn't have noses, with only a black hole in that place. After a series of intense battles, they managed to finish off the monster and split into 2 groups. One group guarded the surroundings while the others reaped the spoils of war. During this process, the man with many meat tumors on his face dissected the monster's corpse. When he was searching for edible parts, he stopped. Adal, what's the matter? The woman without a nose asked curiously. Are these people just fucking mutated, like, beyond... What the fuck is going on here? The man named Adal slowly retracted his right hand and revealed an item he had found from the monster. It was a stone-carved amulet covered with marks of corrosion. This is... The man whose eyes were nearly squeezed together seemed to understand the reason and hesitated. Adal surveyed the area and said, Jean and Russ, this was given to my father when I was young. On the day I became an adult, he felt that he could no longer control himself and chose to leave the city under the depths of darkness. When Jean and Russ heard that, they fell silent. They could understand Adal's feelings. It was a common occurrence in Moon City. So you're telling me everyone in Moon City is just cooked beyond measure? This is like another city other than the city of Silver, and they're all just like have without noses or have 14 eyes or whatever? What the fuck? As there was no safe edible food, they could only pick the mutated plant fruits and collect the flesh of monsters to maintain their survival. Like, I think Derek mentioned this, that they can eat monster flesh, but like only for a time because the mutation starts to build up. So after time, you need to eat like the black-faced grass or whatever for a certain amount of time to let the mutation like clear out of your body. Because if you just survive on monster flesh, you'll just accumulate madness and shit. This resulted in the accumulation of toxins and madness. After a decline in their physical conditions, they would either die or lose control. In order to not cause any damage to the city and surroundings, those who were part of the latter would arrange everything after sensing their condition wasn't good. With a torch and a small amount of food, they would leave the perimeters of the city and wander into the eternal darkness alone. The residents of the Moon City could never imagine what would happen. They would either be killed by monsters or become monsters. There was no other way. God, that's terrifying. Wow. Jesus. Man, the city of Silver actually has it decent for the kind of shithole they live in. What the fuck? So cooked. After 7 to 8 seconds of silence, the woman without a nose hesitantly said, "Perhaps this is the monster that killed your father." "It has a belt made of animal skin wrapped around it," Adal said, as he picked up a dagger made of bone and forcefully inserted it, cutting out a piece of flesh. Amidst the silence, the members of the hunting team completed their harvest until Russ, until Russ, whose eyes were nearly squeezed together, said, "There are more and more deformities amongst the newborn." Yeah, no shit, motherfucker. The people who are having them accumulate toxins. So they're born with so their kids are born with a certain amount of toxins. Then they accumulate more toxins through their life. They have kids. Their kids are born with even more. So 10 generations down, no shit, kids are fucking coming out of the womb with 18 eyes. What the fuck? Similarly, the toxins and madness would be passed down to their descendants. Their lives would be even shorter, making it even easier for them to lose control and mutate. Oh, so this city is on its way out. There are more abnormalities than there ever were in the past. The more obvious implications were, the hunting team presently knew very well that it might not take more than 2 or 3 generations before the residents of the city would lose control. When that happens, even if there was no external attack, the city would be quickly destroyed, leaving behind only buildings and murals as proof of their existence. Dude, can you I can't even fucking fathom the kind of pressure that puts on people when they're just walking around. They're like, "Yo, unless we find some magical fucking cure that no one's been able to find in 1,000 years, our entire civilization is about to get wiped in 50 years. 2 generations would be 50 years. You want to call it 3, 6, 60, 70 years. Our whole, us struggling for 1,000 years to try and live is so that we all just get fucking mutated and just kill ourselves." Holy fuck. Man, this world that Cuttlefish has put together is so phenomenally well done, dude. I can't even... everyone has their own problems that are so unique to them. The City of Silver's problems felt like they were unfucking surmountable. They were oh my god, this entire fucking city is just an abomination on Earth. And then you come to Moon City and you're like, City of Silver is actually doing pretty fucking good. They have black phase grass, they have grade 0 sealed artifact. They're doing a good time. They're having a jolly old fucking time over there. And then you go to Backland and you're like, hey, people have it pretty good. And then you look at the poor people who just fucking die of smog or whatever, and you're like, damn, everyone has such unique problems that are their own. The whole world feels so put together. Adam, okay, okay, so my French is certainly not as good as it used to be. So something go to the hospital, is that it? So you weren't feeling great, so you had to go to the hospital. That's what I'm extrapolating. I don't actually, again, my French has gone significantly downhill, okay? Don't judge me. You're gonna... For fuck's Adam, go to the fucking hospital. What are you doing to me, man? Please, go. Oh my god. Please. Yeah, Adam. Your healthcare is like ours. It's socialized, which means it's fucking slow. You want to go at 3 a.m. so that hopefully you can see a fucking doctor right away. If I have to go to the hospital because because like I'm really sick or whatever, I will wait until nightfall because the emergency room is quieter. Otherwise, like, I'm gonna be sitting there for 7 fucking hours. Go to the go right now. Fuck stream, get off, go to the hospital. What are you doing? Come on, Adam. The longer you wait on it, the worse it's gonna get, dog. Come on. Oh, God. He said, it hurt so much I should have gone to the hospital. Okay. Okay. In the past 2,000 to 3,000 years, I gotta fuck off. Okay, I'm saying go to the fucking hospital, because right now at 3 a.m. it'll probably be quieter. You'll be able to see a doctor quicker. You go in tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, you are out of your fucking mind. You're gonna be waiting there for 9 hours. I assume, because I assume the French system is as dog shit as ours. So fucking no. Adam. Alright. Okay. Are you in the Discord, Adam? They had sent out... Oh yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Oh yeah, tomorrow's Friday. True. They had sent out teams of in the past 2,000 to 3,000 years. It wasn't as if the Moon City hadn't found a way to escape the current predicament. They sent out teams of exploration teams that headed deep into the darkness. Some returned after suffering serious setbacks with nothing to show for their efforts. Some disappeared into the boundless darkness and nothing was heard from them ever again. You're not? Fuck. Okay. I was gonna say, if you're in the Discord, I was gonna ping you when I wake up in the morning. If your ass wasn't in the fucking hospital, I was gonna ban you from stream. Fuck. He's not. Fuck. Join the Discord so I can fucking ban you tomorrow if you're not in the hospital when I wake up. I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. In addition, at a distance away to the east of Moon City was a grayish-white fog that blotted out the sky and land. They were like invisible barriers that not only blocked one's vision, but also prevented any living beings from passing through. Grayish-white fog? The gray fog? The plot thickens! They were like, no. The residents of the Moon City once believed that this was a place of hope. They believed that the area covered by the grayish-white fog was a normal country. They believed that on the other side of the grey fog was a land that hadn't been cursed. They attempted to enter the grey fog over and over, but all attempts failed. They had dug a long passageway, hoping to pass through the invisible barrier underground. But the region underground was also covered in the grey fog. Bro, I'm not saying seas fog, I'm saying grayish-white fog is what it reads. They managed to... They tried ways to obtain the ability of flight before attempting to cross the barrier at high altitudes, but they didn't manage to see the top of the grey fog before they were struck by lightning. Leodaro, this fucking animal, oh my god. Leodaro sees people trying to escape from a literal hellscape and he's like, oh, not today, bitch. They mobilized the powers of all the demigods and sealed artifacts, attacking the target over and over. Over the past 2,000 to 3,000 years, the cumulative attack they performed failed to disperse the barrier at all. Upon hearing Captain Adal's words, the members of the hunting team felt hopeless and sad. The deformed ones were people who found it difficult to control their emotions. At that moment, they more or less felt like they were suppressing something in their hearts, eager to unleash it. In Moon City, a deformed person wasn't allowed to become a Beyonder or join a hunting team 200 or 300 years ago. They could only do harvesting work. But as manpower dwindled, the High Priest and the rest of the upper echelons relaxed the restrictions. Let's go. This bit of food isn't enough. Adal looked around, carrying lanterns, walking deeper into the darkness. Damn. Imagine having to fucking kill your dad, eat him, and then go, not enough. We go for more. Mother must be around here somewhere. This shit is so cooked, bro. Oh my god. This dude, I I don't know what the Evernight goddess did this for. I don't know what reason there was to curse this land this fucking bad. And don't tell me like, oh, it's a remnant of her power, it's beyond her control. No, it's a remnant of her power. She's still alive. She could dispel it. Why is she doing this? Oh my god. Evernight, we believed in you so hard. But you're actually fucking these people. Come on. They didn't take the risk of extinguishing the fire, causing monsters to surge out of the darkness, as they may not be able to deal with them. In such a quiet, suffocating environment, the members of the Moon City's hunting team couldn't help but have the feeling that they were enveloped in endless darkness. If you have a feeling, they're gonna run into Gehrman somewhere along here. It was as though it was impossible to find hope regarding the present situation of the Moon City. When the last trace of light dissipated, they would be silently devoured. As they walked, a faint yellow light appeared in Adal's eyes, a glow that didn't belong to a hunting team. The Creator has arrived, the true savior of this world, Mr. Fool. This bit of light immediately shone into their eyes of all the members, filling their pupils. Everyone couldn't help but widen their eyes. During their lifetime, there had never been any fires from external sources in the history of the Moon City. Indeed, many monsters possessed the powers of fire or the sun domain, but before attacking they were all hidden in the darkness. And now a fiery glow appeared. Everyone trembled as they thought for a long time, but couldn't think of an answer. They quickly recalled the hunting arrangements and confirmed it was impossible for the residents of the city to be nearby. Since the glow didn't belong to the city, where did it come from? The entire hunting team slowed down. They were shocked, surprised, curious, fearful, and worried. Dude, Gehrman is actually such a goat. For 2,000 to 3,000 years, demigods came and went around this city to try and find some other civilization. Couldn't find it. Gehrman, on his first walkthrough, is like, la-di-da-di-da, just trekking along. Like, walks from the City of Silver all the way to Moon City, and he's like, what, like it's hard or something? Like, this guy is so goated. No wonder everyone is scared shitless of this fucking guy. Even monsters in the darkness are like, don't go near him. Before we get a chance to touch him, he just fucking kills all the monsters. Like, hundreds of monsters just die around him. He's crazy. They also discovered that some destroyed cities and knew that any abnormalities in the darkness could be fatal. Be alert, Adal snapped out of his daze as he finally said. The hunting team immediately took up battle formation. Good, what the fuck is happening to my voice? Time seemed to freeze at this moment. Every second was slow. As the fiery glow grew bigger and bigger, a figure appeared. A figure? It's only one person. Everyone on the hunting team held their breaths. It seemed like perhaps there was a chance of seeing an outsider. After 2, maybe 3,000 years, finally someone had stepped foot on this land. They were not only left in this abandoned world. As for who could travel through the endless darkness, everyone had no way of guessing. As the fiery glow became bigger and more obvious, they gradually saw the figure, a slim young man with black hair and brown eyes. His expression was cold. He was neither a deformed person nor had he had any abnormal changes. He wore a strange hat and strange clothes, holding a lantern made of special materials as he walked over. The light of his lantern was even brighter than the combined light of the hunting team. It made the surrounding darkness fade away. It didn't take long before the light shone on the bodies of the hunting team. The figure stopped and asked, "Where are you from?" He spoke Jotun. His eyes are clear. Fuck, okay, Romero. Okay, you know what? I'm setting a reminder right now. I'm gonna do this after stream or I'm gonna fucking forget. Hold on. Let me just do this right now. I'm gonna forget otherwise. Fuck. New GIF. Pathways. Time. Today. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, okay, I promise. I'll do that before I go to sleep. He spoke Jotun, his eyes are clear and he can communicate. Adal opened his mouth, stopping his subconscious to reply. He asked, "Who are you?" The figure with the glass lantern replied calmly, "Gehrman Sparrow." After half a year of traveling and overcoming one obstacle after another, Klein's spiritual intuition had told him that he was finally reaching his destination. Pushkar, how's it going, man? He had also encountered the first batch of living people in his trip across the forsaken land of the gods. Where did you come from? Adal kept his guard up and asked. Wait. 6-month time skip. You're right. Klein has spent 6 months on sequence 3? Damn, the Klein I know is gone forever. Real Klein would have had this bitch done in like 2 weeks tops. Klein swept his gaze across their faces and said, "I came from the City of Silver, and also from a land beyond your cursed lands." Upon hearing this answer, everyone was in a daze. They suspected whether they were expecting too much. Unhinged, how's it going, man? In the autumn of 1351, in the midst of the war, ever since Feynapotter declared war on Lone, and the war that had been going on for some time had finally lost its balance, Lone and its allies, Lenberg, Mason, and Seagar, had lost a large amount of territory, leaving only the last few lines of defenses that they had greatly defended with difficulty. They were on the brink of being overrun. When she saw the long lines of people at the food distribution center, Audrey slowly retracted her gaze and said to her personal maidservant Annie, "Turn towards the St. Samuel Cathedral." Dude, I know, they must be like, oh my god, guys, we have a chance. We have a chance. Oh my god. But dude, 6 months and Lone and its allies are getting cooked? Oh my god, I know what's gonna happen. I'm actually cuttlefish. When I'm done the series, I'm gonna pull off my fucking skin tight mask like it's fucking Mission Impossible, and I'm actually cuttlefish. Oh my god. I know what's gonna happen. The Church of the Fool is the Church of the Tarot Club? The Church of... The Church of the Tarot. The Church of the Tarot is gonna fucking change the balance of power. He's gonna once Klein is done in the Forsaken Land of the Gods, he's gonna actually unleash the whole Tarot Club and he's gonna actually help with the war and help Lone win. I think I know what's gonna happen. Oh my god. I can see it. I can see it in the vision. Oh my god. I'm actually fucking cuttlefish. Let me cook. What? Klein is gonna bring the City of Silver, the city of the Moon City, and like City of Silver, Moon City, City of the Sun, maybe? I don't know. Another city or something. How would they make it? You think once Klein becomes like a sequence 1 and he has the power of damn near a fucking god above the in the gray fog, he's not going to be able to affect shit? You're out of your fucking mind, Pushkar. Klein above the gray fog is going to go, nah, bitch, we're going on a counter. Like, logically, even right now, Klein could just go to any one of these battlefields, like in Lenberg or whatever, and just push back the fucking line, like, hundreds of kilometers by himself. That's not even a fucking joke. What are soldiers gonna do to Klein? Hundreds of soldiers a second are being converted into marionettes and immediately letting them die. Just like, hundreds of soldiers a second are dying if this motherfucker shows up. You're kidding. Like, Klein himself could just do unbelievable amounts of damage. The opposing church... Nah, Kami, hold on. Let me cook, dude. Oh my god. No, I see the vision. If, like, Klein... No, I'm telling you, if Klein Audrey as a manipulator behind him as like support, and maybe like the hermit, or maybe like Force if she when she becomes a demigod. If they could work together, they could like actually push it. Like they could, the entire Western theater, they could just be like, you know what, guys, leave this to us. We got it. let me cook. As the kid, once I'm not saying right now, but I'm saying once he becomes like a sequence 1, dude. Because 6 months in, there's no way 6 months in he's just gonna take like a sequence 2 characteristic and be like, la-di-da, we're good. No, he's gonna be like, no, we also need to find a sequence. Because I'm telling you, sequence 2 characteristic, he's gonna basically auto fucking digest right away. He's gonna immediately be like, oh, I gotta find that too, because I'm fully digested the Miracle Invoker right away. As the carriage drove slowly across the road, Audrey's gaze subconsciously looked out the window. Many passersby stood by the roadside, staring at the horse that was pulling the carriage. Sorry, someone just messaged. Give me a second. Sorry. It's fine. Things fine. Wow. Many. Too sure. That's actually the first good point anyone's raised. Amon can now become a god. Fuck, I forgot about that. Fuck the war, let Lone die. Everyone die, I don't care. We need to stop Amon. Fuck, I forgot about that. Fuck. The Tarot Club can't do anything to Amon. No, Amon's gonna become a god. I don't think he can stop him. Amon's too goated, dude. Fuck, I forgot about that. That happened yesterday. I already forgot about it. Many passersby stood by the roadside, staring at the horse that was pulling the carriage. Their eyes seemed to be emitting a greedy glint in their eyes. The lucky ones successfully collected their food. They ran through the streets serendipitously and headed for home. A team of policemen in black and white uniform were patrolling the streets. They had revolvers by their waists and baton in their hands. Recently, we don't even dare go to the streets alone, the personal maidservant Annie said. Audrey nodded, but didn't respond. Well, yeah, Audrey's like, oh yeah, it must be so scary to walk all alone. Meanwhile, Audrey's a literal fucking saint. She's like, I can run faster than a fucking train. What is someone gonna do to me? Like, she's like putting up prime Usain Bolt numbers, and she's like, what, do you think I'm afraid, Annie? After a while, the carriage arrived at Phelps Street and stopped at the square in front of the cathedral. A flock of pigeons that were usually here were nowhere to be seen. I have a god, dude, I have a literal god on speed dial, actually. The Lone Charity Bursary Foundation, as well as the subsequent establishments of the Lone Poverty Relief. I forgot how to say that word for a second. Foundation and the Lone Medical Charity Foundation had all moved from 22 Phelps Street to a few small rooms in the cathedral, because the buildings they were originally housed in had collapsed. To the staff of these 3 foundations, it was a harrowing memory. If they hadn't left 22 Phelps Street in advance due to different reasons, they would have long been killed. When they say different reasons, does that mean like Audrey kind of had like a premonition or something and told them to move? After alighting from the carriage and walking towards the main door, Audrey saw the black-haired, brown-eyed girl approach. Before the other party could speak, she said, Melissa, is there any more food that can be distributed? Oh, it's Melissa! Melissa shook her head solemnly. Even those injured soldiers who we provided relief to can't get enough food. I will think of a way, Audrey said. From the City of Silver, from a land beyond the Cursed Lands, Gehrman's words echoed in the ears of the Moon City's hunting team. Adal, Jean, and Russ. It made them feel as though they were in a dream. Dude, I'm not even kidding. Fuck the country. Just say Melissa, Benson, Audrey, Susie. We'll say Audrey's family, except the racist brother. Fuck that guy. But he's in the southern continent, so he's probably fine. Fucking dick. Hazel, Forrest and Geo, Isengard Stanton, and the little sister, Liv, or whatever. Is that the one who's still alive? I can't remember. The one who's still alive. Whatever. Save her. Everyone else, just fucking let him go. Just as Adal gradually regained his senses, he was about to ask when Jean, who was born without a nose, inundated Klein with a series of questions. Where is the City of Silver? What does it look like? How far is it? How many people are there? Klein glanced at her and replied emotionlessly. The City of Silver is located on the other side of the Cursed Lands. They discovered a type of plant that can be eaten normally, called black-faced grass. This has allowed them to maintain their kind of stability and effectively explore the depths of the darkness in a bid to find a way to leave. They recently found mushrooms. These mushrooms can use monsters as nutrients, forming all kinds of fruit that do not contain toxins and madness. The City of Silver has gone one step further in escaping the madness. Once the newborns become adults, they won't easily lose control, even at old age. This made everyone feel lost, as though their own persistent efforts had no meaning. Well, your efforts had meaning, you're just kind of fucking around though, like Jesus Christ, do some fucking work on some agriculture, bro, what do you mean? Come on. The City of Silver, described by Gehrman, was the most beautiful scene they could imagine, yet so easily possessed by others. See, this is what I'm talking about. The City of Silver, which seemed like a fucking harrowing shithole that no one would want to live in, is like, to these guys, like a fucking paradise. They're like, oh my god, I can't imagine a better life. That's so goated. It's like, what? Bro, up until like 50 chapters ago, we were like, the City of Silver is like hell on earth. Like Lucifer himself couldn't make a place worse than this. And these guys are like, heaven. Oh my god. Like, Cuttlefish is so fucking good, dude. Are there any deformed newborns? Jean asked. Almost none. Adam. Come on. No. Please. Just go. Please. If nothing else... You know what? Fuck it. If nothing else, you just go there. The doctor gives you some fucking painkillers and they say like, hey, everything's fine. Just like rest it and ice it. Fucking if nothing else, you just know you're okay. Just go for that, man. Come on. Don't make me beg. Come on. Will their parents walk into the depths of the darkness by themselves when their physical condition deteriorates? No. When they become old? Bro, you're fucking... Adam, your fucking healthcare system is more dog shit than ours. What the fuck do you mean you asked for an ambulance? Do you not have like 911 to just call for an ambulance and get them to come home? What the fuck do you mean I asked for an ambulance? Are you living in a dystopian shithole? What? What is happening? Bullseye, shut the fuck up. I care about you guys, okay? So if something comes up, I will fucking talk about that. You shut the fuck up. While wearing a black trench coat and a top hat, holding a lantern, Klein replied, no. Because they are burdened with the curse of killing their own kin. If a life cannot be ended by the hands of a blood relative, they will turn into a terrifying evil spirit or monster. The members of the hunting team in the Moon City finally found a sense of reality. They felt like they were slowly rising in warm water as bubbles slowly emerged. Yeah, fuck the doctor, Adam. Just, if you need to get to the hospital and you can't, like, drive or whatever, just fucking... Oh, yeah, yeah, your car was Is your car totaled? Or at the repair shop or whatever. Like, just fucking... Just call an ambulance. What the fuck? Fuck the doctor. Fuck him. I apologize if you guys heard that. These bubbles were weak, empty, and easily pricked, but there was nothing inside, but they shimmered with hope and light. Russ, whose eyes were nearly squeezed together, couldn't help but ask, how many normal people are there outside the cursed area? They are basically normal. They do not need to be constantly worried about monsters attacking them. They don't have to be worried about being in the darkness. They don't go crazy after growing old, and they aren't burdened by all kind of curses. They see sunlight every day when they wake up. With sufficiently normal food, every night the crimson moon rises. But all of this is currently being destroyed, Klein added in his heart. This time, Adal, Jean, and Russ were somewhat at a loss, because they found Gehrman's description something unimaginable. It was just like they were reading the few ancient books remaining. They could get the spirit of the matter, but found it hard to truly understand certain contexts. They had no way to know what the sun or the crimson moon even were. That's so crazy, man. Romero, did he just time out Adam? However, to have a certain food every day without the burden of various curses, the worry of monster attacks or darkness, and the lack of going crazy was a beautiful dream they yearned for. There's a place such as this? Is this what is called heaven in the ancient books? Was our land really cursed? Everyone thought? Oh, I see. One of them opened their mouth, but was at a loss as to what to ask. Someone wanted to bring Gehrman back to the Moon City and inform the High Priest of the news, wanting to inform everyone, but he was afraid of attracting danger. During this process, they didn't let down their guard or vigilance. Klein wasn't the least bit surprised with their attitude. He felt this was the reaction of a civilization that could last to this day, in the Forsaken Land of the Gods ought to have. With a lantern in hand, he continued heading east. Regardless of what stories these people had, whether it was worth helping them, he planned to wait until he began his investigation before listening and considering, because his intuition told him that his destination wasn't far, that the legendary Western continent was just 2 or 3 hours away. The moment he took a step forward, Adal and company immediately bent their backs, bracing themselves to defend against an attack. But they didn't manage to see Gehrman approach them. They watched as he silently walked to the left and continued heading forward. Seeing this young man dressed in strange clothing, Adal's face changed as he shouted, "Who are you?" Klein turned around as he continued walking deeper into the darkness and replied, a missionary, a person sent to spread my lord's brilliance." He's actually imitating the angel of the word. He's like, "Oh, you've got an angel, true creator? I've got one too, bitch. I'm not quite an angel, but I've got a saint. Fuck you." Adal and company looked at each other, their expression filled with confusion. They hesitated for a long time, but when there was only a small trace of dim yellow light, they took a step forward and followed behind Klein. They didn't dare approach him, nor did they want him to leave their sights. They carried the food they had procured as though they were monitoring and chasing him away. As for Klein, he continued walking, not waiting for them, nor attempting to shake them off. Oh my god, Klein's gonna summon food from Danitz or whatever, and gonna give some of them to them, and they just eat some, and they just start immediately crying. They're like, "How do we get more of this? I will stay by your side forever. Fuck the Moon City, I just want more food." Just like that, both of them walked in silence under the sparse lightning. At some point in time, Russ and the others had left the main group. They held the animal hide lantern and the food they had obtained and turned around, silently disappearing into the endless darkness. Seconds changed into minutes before Klein finally stopped. Using the lightning that streaked across the sky, he saw the grayish-white fog a few hundred meters away. Klein could probably grab out a Big Mac. That would probably work, wool block. But the problem is it obviously disappears, so he just gets to eat it. But he doesn't get any nutrients. Which is kind of base, because Big Mac has no nutrients. Oh my god, you're right. It's kind of based. You should just do that. Klein looked at it intently for a long time. Even though there were partitions of darkness, he raised his head. After the second bolt of lightning, he looked away. Behind the fog? Or is it inside the disappeared western continent? He couldn't help but slow down his breathing. He thought for a moment and stretched out his right hand to scratch at the darkness in front of him. After doing it 4 or 5 times, Klein pulled out a black cane with many gems. The Staff of the Stars! Let's go! Oh my god, my Go has the Staff of the Stars! A terrifying sealed artifact known as 062 that had been swapped for the Box of the Great Old Ones. I will say, this 6-month time skip feels unnecessary to me. Am I crazy in saying that? Like, I'm sure this progresses a lot of things, like, soon it's gonna be like, oh, Amon, someone is attempting to become a god, and Amon is attempting to switch with them to become an error, or whatever. Or the error, I guess. But, I don't know, all the same, it feels like it was an unnecessary time skip. This way, even if there were unnecessary scenes that appeared in his... wait, hold on. Of course, all he did was summon a historical projection of the Staff of Stars. This way, even if there were unnecessary scenes that appeared in his mind, he could use the removal of the historical void projection to stop any dangers from appearing. To a scholar of yore, this was the best way to use a Grade 0 artifact. However, this limited the effects and was something that couldn't exceed 3 minutes at a time. Furthermore, there was a certain difference with the original version when it came to their effects. Using a marionette to hold the staff wasn't the best way to avoid negative effects, because a marionette needed to be controlled, and any control had a chance of transmitting scenes. Of course, if he engaged in a battle he was prepared for, Klein wouldn't have done so. This was because he would occupy one of the 3 precious summoning spots. Furthermore, although the Staff of the Stars belonged to him, it was only in a state of forced ownership, and it remained sealed. Furthermore, the Grade 0 sealed artifact had a rather high level. It was impossible for Klein to successfully summon it at once, so it usually took him 3 to 6 attempts. In a fierce battle, it would require a lot of chances, nothing easy. The Staff of the Stars is like, if no one is holding it, it'll cause like weird scenes. The person holding it, if you envision like a place but it's not perfect, you'll teleport somewhere random. Like but like its negative effects are nothing bad at all for a Grade 0 sealed artifact. And it was precisely because of this that when he was forced to perform, he would hypnotize himself in advance. By using the Staff of the Stars in a special state, he would preserve the ability to summon the historical void images like Miss Messenger, Azek, Mem Ariana, Will Ossepton, and other familiar angels. What do you mean other? Do we know another angel? Holding the black staff that was embedded with gems, a scene of a door appeared in his mind. The gems on the staff flashed with a faint glow as the grayish-white fog quickly outlined a door that wasn't sufficiently real. The door opened silently, and behind it was a grey fog. Door opening doesn't work. Although he wasn't surprised, he was still a little disappointed. He thought for a moment and decided to switch tactics. However, just as he was thinking, the Staff of the Stars automatically activated. The corresponding scene appeared. By the way, Romero, I can't remember who, but someone told me to go to 12... I think it was Godzilla. So I'm going to go to 1214 instead of 1212. So, Luvion's message in the Discord said we should end at 1212. But then 1214? Okay, good. No 14 speak. Luvian, I apologize. You have been overruled. I apologize also because I realized I forgot to change the title and number last chapter. Damn, dude. I'm so sad. I thought that theory about Klein coming out with like the full power of the Tarot Club after the Forsaken Land of the Gods was such a good theory. I was like, damn, I'm actually cuttlefish. Let me cook. I was so sure. Just now, as Klein was thinking of a solution, an image appeared in his mind. The clouds and the two mountains began to boil rapidly as they spread out to the left and right, revealing a crack whose bottom couldn't be seen. A scene created when Amon entered the projection of the Giant King's court. Just as he felt that he didn't know enough about the powers and planned on switching to another method, the red, green, blue, transparent gems of the staff already began to emit a glow. The solidified grayish-white fog was similarly boiling, but it wasn't that intense. Nightwalker, I'm trying, okay? Please. I'm trying my best. Sorry, we're the Forsaken Land of the Gods, so I'm just changing it to scary music. It's more accurate. Inside in his heart, they were churning backwards as they parted, but the area in front of him remained as an endless grey fog. There was no end to it. Klein sighed in his heart as he attempted to make other attempts. In the past 3 minutes, he tried at least 10 times, 7 times of his own will. 3 was him venting it out, but none able to open the invisible barrier. Nothing works. With a flick of his wrist, he allowed the projection of 062 to disappear. Nathan, I don't think I've seen you here before, man. Thanks for popping by. How you doing? He stared at the silent, grayish-white fog and didn't move for a minute. It was as if he had turned into a statue. Finally, Klein closed his eyes and looked away. Holding the lantern in his hand, he walked towards the nearby humans. He didn't plan on making blind attempts, because there was a high chance that he wouldn't succeed. He planned on asking people who stood guard in the vicinity for 2 or 3,000 years. It was obvious their ancestors had explored this fog. He wanted to see if he could find any inspiration from them. Yes, Luvian, I think that's the order, but I think it's probably gonna go Mother of Learning, Perfect Run, and then ORV, then COI. Yeah. Just want to take a little bit of a break, Boopala. Okay, look at that. We finally got something. We got Boopla to agree with us on something. Okay. We have the divine intervention of Boopala. We're good. We're good. We have permission. We're fine. Are you gonna attend the trial? When is the trial, Nagito? Based on Klein's assumption, the humans would definitely react excessively towards him, so he had already made preparations to allow them to speak calmly. However, when he looked at the center of the dusk on both of the lanterns, he realized that the ugly or deformed humans were staring at him with their mouths agape. They were confused and shocked. Klein frowned slightly. In the darkness, he walked unhurriedly to the ancient survivors and stopped 2 or 3 meters away. "What do you know of this fog?" Klein asked. It was only when Gehrman raised the question that Adal seemed to snap out of his daze. His lips quivered as he said, We have never caused the fog to change before." Just as Gehrman had caused the fog to boil like water in part, the scene had frightened them, as though they were witnessing a miracle. The 2 or 3,000 of years of hard work were inferior to a man holding a staff. This was... Bro, the inferiority complex, it needs to be studied. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like everyone would have that same complex in that moment, but Jesus. This was also the main reason why they gave up on resisting Gehrman. They instinctively believed that no matter how they avoided him, it would be to no avail. Zaza, how's it going? After 2 seconds, Klein continued, do you have any corresponding records? Yes. However, only the High Priest and the others would frequently look through it. Klein thought for a moment as he reached out to pull an item from the void, a cross covered in bronze. The historical image of the unshadowed crucifix. I'm good, Zaza, I'm good. With the cross in hand, Klein raised it a little higher and aimed it at the survivors. The pure, bright, and warm-blooded light bloomed, dispersing the darkness around them and illuminating them. Their combat experience made them instinctively attempt to defend themselves, but their actions stopped midway. The brightness and warmth wasn't something a bonfire could compare with. Oh, he's gonna purify them. He's gonna remove the madness. But it's also gonna take out their characteristic. Oh, but I guess characteristic will probably take longer to seep out than the madness, and then he'll just take it away midway through and be like, you're done. This made the remaining members of the Moon City hunting team recall the deities described in the ancient books and the High Priest, deities who emitted boundless light and warmth. Under the illumination of the bright, pure, and distorted, illusory black gas that seemed to have a life of its own began to boil from the bodies of Adal, Jin, and company, quickly rising and dissipating. The members of the Moon City's hunting team felt their bodies become more relaxed and the pressure within their soul disappear. After purging the cumulative corruption and ailments of their bodies, Klein shook his wrist slightly, causing the crucifix to disappear. Right on the heels of that, he grabbed another cane that looked like an ordinary wooden color. Life's cane. Although he had already sacrificed it to the goddess, since it once belonged to him, it would always accompany him. With the Life's cane in hand, Klein took a few steps forward and used the end of the cane to tap the leader of the Moon City's hunting team. The experience came from before made Adal unable to dodge. The tumors on his face began to crack as pus flowed, faded, and disappeared. In the end, there wasn't even a single crack left. Damn. Oh, Klein is so goated. Gets rid of the madness, fixes his hideous face. He's like, alright, maybe now, if you get rid of that yee-ass haircut, you could get some bitches. Oh god. From the looks of it, Adal knew that he had undergone a change. He hesitantly raised his right hand and touched his face, but he kept touching it. During the process, he realized that he was in an unprecedentedly healthy state, one that was better than when he first became an adult. Klein didn't look at him as he stepped diagonally and used Life's cane to treat the other survivors. With the doll as an example, no one was on their guard as they accepted the contact with the cane. Amongst them, the two deformed beings were easily emotional and couldn't help but tear up. Unfortunately, I can't treat natural defects. Mental illnesses can be treated, but some crazy tendencies can't. Klein then flicked his right wrist and made the Life's cane disappear as well. He walked to the original spot and turned around. I am not here to destroy, but to spread the radiance of my Lord, spreading light and warmth. He's actually gonna make a whole... I'm telling you, he's making a church. This is the Evernight Goddess' story, 1-to-1. The Evernight Goddess came in as a transmigrator. I'm not confirmed. It's fucking confirmed. Okay, fuck you guys. She came in as a transmigrator, started a secret organization, which eventually became a church. Let me cook! He walked to the, go back and tell your leader that I am here. If he is willing, he can come over. I love how even now Klein is like, I will not lower myself to visit your leader in his place of worship. He can come see me in the eternal darkness if he so dares. He didn't attempt to find out where the gathering point of these survivors was, nor did he plan on going there. This would trigger the strongest form of resistance. Why would he need the church? Pushkar. The Evernight goddess had the Rose Redemption, and she still felt the need to make a church. The Rose Redemption. Need I say more? Nightwalker, exactly. Roselle was a follower, not a leader, bro. He was like, oh, this ancient secret organization that Adam heads seems pretty cool. I'll join that. Nah. Get it together. Make your own. Be a leader, not a follower. But he was an emperor. Even that, he stole from Caesar, okay? He's not that fucking special. Hence, giving them the choice was most suitable. At that moment, everyone was already shocked by Gehrman's constant pulling of mystical items. They felt that he was a walking miracle, and that he had already been cleansed by the divine light, allowing their physical condition to return to their optimal state. It even exceeded their peak. All right, Adal responded. Just as they turned around and prepared to return, flames lit up from the depths of the darkness as they rapidly approached. The leader was an old man wearing a dark brown beast hide, his hair unkempt and his face full of cracks. High Priest, Jean blurted out. None other than the Moon City's High Priest, Nim. Nim. Behind Nim followed Russ and other members of the hunting team who had returned to the city ahead of time, as well as several high-sequence Beyonders. Nim nodded at Adal, Jin, and the rest before walking in front of the group. They looked at the man who claimed to be a missionary, Gehrman Sparrow, as he bowed. Honorable guest, I am Moon City's High Priest, Nim. Moon City once belonged to vampires, but that civilization had long been destroyed. Moon City, vampires, makes sense. Afterwards, we accepted the order of the great sun god, the Lord who created everything, and moved here to watch the grayish-white fog and make the corresponding attempts. That continued on even though the land was cursed and the Lord didn't respond to us. Pushkar, it may be more united, but one Sasrir versus all of the Tarot Club minus Klein, who wins? One Sasrir. So like even if it's less like put together, I care why. To date, 3,722 years have passed. Jesus. What was Rose Redemption's goal? I don't know. Do I know that? To kill ASG? The eternally impenetrable fog. As a good friend of mine once said, give me 10 good men in climbing spikes and I'll impregnate the bitch. God, I hope Luvian isn't here. Ramiro, please tell me you get that reference, please. Thank you, Ramiro. It's from Game of Thrones for anyone who doesn't get it. Hold on, I'll pull up the clip because I fucking love that clip. Braun, actually, dude. This 30-second clip is gonna get the whole stream demonetized. Do I give a fuck? Fuck no.
No better place for low pursuits than...
I hope you guys can hear that. Okay, let me just up a little.
No better place for low pursuits than beneath the ground.
Casterly Rock is an impregnable fortress. Eerie. They say it's impregnable.
But as a good friend of mine once said,
Give me 10 good men and some climbing spikes. I'll impregnate the bitch.
Ah, such a good line. Such a good line, dude. Such a... No, I'm sorry. I'm not spoiling Game of Thrones. If you have not seen it yet, you're never gonna watch it. And besides... Justin, how's it going, man? Long time no see. I am spoiled. Okay, Zaza, tell me, what did you learn? Please tell me. Okay. 3,722 years, indeed. They were sent here when the ancient sun god was still alive. Pushkar, no, tell me what I spoiled. No, don't give me all this, oh, you spoiled, no. What did I spoil? Motherfucker, tell me. No, now. Indeed, they were sent here when the ancient sun god, how the fuck do you know the name Unsullied? I'm sorry. What? Where did you get that name from? Where did you get that name? Indeed, they were sent here when the ancient sun god was still alive, with the city of Silver's continued survival in the darkness for more than 2,000 years. Klein easily confirmed the word of the moon's high priest. That great line was spoiled to ruin the experience. Dude, Pushkar's actually... Dude, oh my god, we don't even fucking need Unhinged to show up anymore. Pushkar's actually the new Unhinged. He actually rage baits the fuck out of me. It's amazing. He nodded slightly and asked, "Are you guarding this fog to prevent any anomalies from happening to it?" No. The revelation that the Lord gave us was to guard the area all day. We wanted to know if anyone walks out of this grey fog. The ancient sun god had a premonition that would happen. If the other side of the fog is really the western continent, does that mean there may still be life there? Amon's father, the second creator, was actually unable to open this greyish-white fog and needed to send people to watch over it? Is there a specific method to pass through this barrier? The Hanged Man mentioned that the Queen of Calamity said that the incantation or command might be needed. Also, the premise is that the western continent has already resurfaced. As Klein looked at the High Priest with deep lines on his face, he said without batting an eyelid, "I believe that they have already introduced me to you. I am a missionary, sent here to spread the light of the Lord." Dude, Klein is actually taking like one. Klein is like, bro, you can hate the true creator, but my man's got some fucking good PR. I'm gonna copy him one for one. The High Priest of the Moon City, Nim, looked at his composure, maintained his composure, and used his gray eyes that were the same color as his hair to look at Klein. "Your Excellency, which existence do you believe in?" "Please permit me to introduce you to my lord, the savior of this land, the great Mr. Fool." The Fool. Nim and the others didn't expect to hear such a word. For a moment they found it strange, but for some reason they felt it as though there was infinite philosophy hidden within. Finally, their attention was focused on the description, the savior of this land. Nim couldn't help but turn his head to look at Adal and the rest. As a Sequence 4 demigod, he knew very well this was the result of the cleansing of the toxins and corruptions accumulated in their bodies. Furthermore, the members of the hunting team had also been given excellent treatment. If he hadn't seen this group of young men grow up and remembered how they looked before the changes, he wouldn't dare to confirm they were residents of the city. "His Excellency, Sparrow prayed for a deity's blessing to save us," Adal said. "Yes, we saw the light. We felt the warmth," Jean said. After the catharsis, she had unknowingly developed a certain belief towards the Lord that Gehrman spoke of. Compared to the Creator who had never responded to their prayers and ignored the suffering that the city faced, This existence was much more like a deity. What do you have to say to that, Ramiro? Why has your lord never helped the city's, the Moon City's children suffering? Jacques. Russ and the other members of the hunting team that went back to the Moon City to inform the High Priest looked covetously at their former companions. They were both envious and were yearning for a new life. The High Priest, Nim, retracted his gaze and looked at Gehrman. Is the great deity, Mr. Fool, a deity in this world? No. From outside this cursed land? Yes. They worship the wrong lord, ASG, instead of the true creator? You're telling me no one in the 3,000 years of this city's existence has ever accidentally reached out to the true creator? And come on. Suspicious. I don't know if I believe it. Then, what about the great sun god who created everything? Nim asked. The kings betrayed that existence. Blood, anger, foulness, and shadows began to flow across this land, triggering a huge calamity. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking, Pushkar. Wouldn't a true kind lord show his light even without having to be asked, so as to show that he is the way? Pushkar, you see, Pushkar may rage bait me, but occasionally he does hit the nail on the head. He's also pretty close to getting banned, because if one day he rage baits me and I'm like in a shitty mood, I will fucking ban him. He is close, but he walks the line. He walks the line incredibly well. He's like he dies. He's gonna die on this fucking fence. Oh, love that. Nim's pupils dilated. With great difficulty, he asked, Are you saying that the Lord perished? Not only did he perish, but his flesh and blood were eaten by the traitors. This piece of land was cursed as a result. Taking advantage of the fact that he was in the Forsaken Land of the Gods, Klein boldly said this. Oh, because if he said this out loud, everyone would just fucking insta-kill him. Like 6 different gods would be like, no, you can't say that. He didn't deliberately distinguish the Amon brothers from the other Kings of Angels. He planned on making the residents of the Moon City believe that all the Kings of Angels were traitors, so they wouldn't be fooled by Amon. I'm on the fence just like India stands in a Cold War? Is that true? I don't even know if that's true. But India had like such a great outstanding, not outstanding, fuck me. Dude, I'm actually fucking becoming Trump. A long-standing friendship with the Soviet Union, no? I would have thought they would be pretty pro-Soviet at the time. Over the past half year of traveling and various experiments he undertook, he was convinced that the Forsaken Land of the Gods really was sealed. Or rather, it was isolated. The only point of contact was either the exit of the Giant King's court or something at the level of Sephira Castle. Therefore, using the Staff of the Stars here allowed him to move within the confines of the Cursed Lands. Okay, but why does Klein have access to something so high level? Like, even Amon is like foaming at the mouth, like, Sephira Castle, give it to me! And like, Amon was just like, kind of came into this world with it? What the fuck? Man, there's so many things that I still don't know. Like, there's so much that I'm starting to know. Like, I know the name of the Grey Fog now, which is cool. But like, what the fuck? And therefore, using the Staff of the Stars allowed him to move within the confines of the Cursed Land, but he was unable to head to the scenes of in the outside world. In addition, even in the historical projection of the Box of the Great Old Ones was suppressed and isolated. The moment the summoning succeeded, the projection would be devoured. This made him suspect that even the 3rd level of the box was a little dangerous for true deities as the true creator. Upon hearing Gehrman's words, Nim trembled. The faces of the Beyonders behind him changed as well. It was as if they had suffered an extremely serious blow. Everyone showed signs of losing control. Seeing this, Klein reached out his hand again and pulled the life's cane from the void, allowing it to fly through the air and tap the target. The signs of the Beyonders losing control vanished. His forehead was just covered in sweat. The removal of the historical projection, the life's cane faded away. As for the Beyonders of the Moon City, they managed to break free from the grievous news. Some of them were filled with suspicion and disbelief, while others were whimpering. At some point, Nim's eyes had closed. 2 or 3 seconds later, he looked at Gehrman. What else do you have to ask? In less than a minute, he looked like he had aged considerably, his body beginning to show signs of decay and depression. However, it wasn't without hope. Zaza, alright, see you tomorrow. If you can, stick around for another chapter. Apparently, the next chapter is like really goated, if you have time. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you, not tomorrow, Saturday. Klein half turned and pointed to the grey fog. Since when did you attempt to open the screen? What did you achieve? Nim said frankly, in the beginning it was the Lord's revelation. While he wanted us to watch over it, he also wanted us to think of a way to pass through. Once the land was cursed, we used this to mainly guide us so as to seek hope, but we didn't ultimately achieve anything concrete. No matter what we used, the mist didn't react. It's not that there's no reaction, it's just that it's not what we wanted. What was the reaction? Klein immediately saw some hope. Jin immediately took the initiative to say, High Priest, His Excellency, His Excellency, Sparrow has already parted a portion of the fog, a depth deeper than what we imagined. Nim couldn't help but look at Gehrman before saying, more than 1700 years ago, the High Priest back then was inspired by the cruel fact that the Moon City had failed to achieve anything in the past 2,000 years. He felt that we couldn't treat this grey fog as a seal that needed to be broken through, but instead treat it as a great existence. He designed an honorific name, prayer stanza, and the corresponding symbols for this fog, and repeated the rituals and attempted praying. This is a train of thought that no one would have thought of. Even I didn't think of it. Indeed, after all these years, these people must have had many strange ideas. 3,000 years. This is a long time. Klein sighed as he nodded. Was there any feedback? There was at one point when the High Priest changed the first sentence of the honorific name to the eternally impenetrable fog. Then, during the subsequent ritual, he vaguely heard a series of voices coming from the depths of the fog. Unfortunately, he couldn't hear it clearly, no matter how hard he tried. From then on, the rituals we held were uncountable. We realized that a response wasn't always guaranteed. Even if there was a response, it may not be a timely one. We needed to be patient. How many times does it roughly take to succeed? Klein asked. There are no patterns. Sometimes we succeeded at once, and other times we may not receive a feedback for a month. We have made alterations, but all were useless. Did you hear what those voices said afterwards? Klein asked. No, maybe our sequence isn't high enough, or we just lack in strength. If that's the reason, I can always give it a try. He then politely asked, may you hold the correct ritual again? I would like to hear those voices. Sure, but many of the rituals are in the Moon City. You need to wait for some time. Have you used those materials before? Klein asked. Yes, Nimue said. Just hold it now. Tell me, when was the last time you used those materials and where they were nearby? Not only is it great if I've used a thing, if you've used a thing, that works too. Oh, you haven't used the thing, you've just seen it? That'll work. Oh, you haven't like seen the thing but you've thought about it? That'll work. Oh, you haven't thought of the thing but you've thought about thinking about it? That'll work. This shit is actually so fucking broken. What? Mike Seeley, how's it going, man? Just watch Wiz in class. I got class. Oh, okay, I see. No worries, Zaza. What do you mean, what is going on? What? What? You mean me being cut off here? Is that it? Please, I can't. My fucking. This is just irritating. Be this. That's my fucking curtain. It's getting in the way. It's just irritating. I was the one repeating the same thing a million times. What? Okay. After hearing the priest's reply, Klein held the lantern and walked 20 to 30 steps to the right. No, you see, I don't like that. It feels like it's... Mon is like broken. I don't like that. This is fine. His robe just kind of feels vaguely off. I can live with that. Klein held the lantern and walked 20 to 30 steps to the right, parallel to the grey fog. Then he half closed his eyes, as though he was sensing something. This made the Moon City Beyonders behind him not dare to make a sound, afraid of disturbing the Oracle. By the way, I don't know why. I don't know if it's anyone else, but like, I love the word Oracle. Maybe it's just because as a kid I grew up watching Batman, and like, Oracle is obviously what Barbara Gordon's called. Oh, I don't know. I love that word. After 4 or 5 seconds, Klein stretched out his right hand and grabbed at the air in front of him. An altar made of stone dropped into the real world. On it were 3 candles made of oil and 7 to 8 spiritual materials. As a sequence 4, Nim was taken aback. Previously, he had seen Gehrman pull out the cane to train his companions. He only believed that Gehrman possessed the power of space or had received the favor of the Mr. Fool. But now, his judgment had been overturned, because he found the altar and the candles and the items very familiar. They were all used by him. He managed to create something I've used before? Power that comes from history? One that comes from time? At that moment, Klein turned around to look at the priest. "You may begin." Nim took a deep breath and walked to the altar. After looking at the materials, labels, and patterns engraved on the altar and confirming there were no problems, he followed the process that had been engraved into his memories. In the end, he bowed his head and chanted in a low voice. "The eternally impenetrable fog, a barrier frozen in space-time. The existence that contains everything." I don't know why the term space-time feels so out of place in this context. Like, it feels right for what they're going for, but it just feels like a term that they should know. It's so fucked. Before the prayer ended, Klein had already placed his attention on the grayish-white fog. For this, he had secretly controlled a large number of monster marionettes that walked in the darkness to separate. He spaced them out to a degree, hoping that he wouldn't miss any traces. However, he didn't notice anything unusual until the ritual was complete. After waiting for a while, Klein said, once again, "Backlund, Empress Burrow." After receiving permission, Audrey pushed open the door and walked in. Her father, Earl Hall, and her brother, Hibbert, were discussing some matters. "Oh, baby, you don't look well," Earl Hall said. Audrey didn't act as she forced a smile. "There's a huge lack of food at the Poverty Relief Foundation. I'd like to collect some more. I visited so many nobles today, but they all said they have no more, even if I offer to buy it." When these words were said, the nobles were either in a parlor or at a spot specially used for high tea. In front of them were high-quality black tea and exquisite desserts. From time to time, they would invite Audrey to evaluate their dessert chef's skills. Their servants had rosy cheeks and took light footsteps. They didn't make a sound. "The current situation," Earl Hall sighed. "Father, I remember there should be a lot of food at home. Can I buy some of that with money?" "Audrey, you've already done too much. There is no need for you to do more." "Audrey, the prerequisite for charity is to not affect your family and your family's life. This is a principle I wish for you to remember." "Father, the amount of food we have at home is enough to last everyone in the house a year, maybe even more. Besides, there's so much more food in Eastchester County." As Winter County hadn't completely fallen, the Faceac army had invaded Midsea Shire, didn't attack Eastchestershire County. As for the Fasak, Intis, and Phaenopotter fleet, they were suppressed by the few ironclad warships of Lone. Seeing his daughter's eyes for a second, he sighed. Audrey, you really have grown up. You have your own ideas and commendable determination. But we do not know how long the war will last. We do not know what the outcome will be. We have to leave a lot of food to deal with this. I can accept us having 2 less delicacies for every meal to help those who are in trouble, but I do not want my dining table to become like what the newspapers say of the middle class. This will make us lose our dignity. This is something we must abide with. Do you understand what I mean? I was just making an analogy. The essence of this is that I value the continuation and the future of my family line. I value our status and standing. Only when it doesn't affect them will I express my love and kindness. What I said may be cruel, but you have grown up a lot. It is time to hear this. Everyone is selfish. In my heart, I value my family more than anything else. Apart from these, it will first be faith and good friends, next people we are acquainted with, finally all of Backland who needs help. If it doesn't affect the ones I listed first, I don't mind helping them. However, unfortunately, I have to consider even more things right now. I'm sorry to let you know that your father is such a selfish person. I totally agree with the Earl Hall. Now, the thing is, it sounds, because it sounds so bourgeoisie and shit, like, oh, you can have 2 less fucking desserts, oh, can you, you rich fuck? I get that. It's not, Pushkar, it's not selective empathy. It's a value hierarchy. I fucking hate that term because like fucking Jordan Peterson uses it all the time. But it's true. Everyone like in your own heart, you value things, like you value your life more than a different person's. Not because like you think you're superior to them or like fundamentally you're a better person. It's just self-preservation. It's just an instinct that exists in all of us. That's not selective empathy at all. No. Because selective empathy is a term that's used to say like, oh, Devil, how many of these fucking Chinese cultivation meetings have you gone to? The CCP has you fucking hooked, bro. Chill. Selective empathy is saying like, oh, I only like people of my race or whatever, or I only like people who have black hair, or I only like people who are over 6 feet. I don't fucking know, whatever, pick a thing. That's selective empathy. Selective empathy isn't saying like, oh, I value my family more than like a random fucking stranger. That's not selective empathy. That's at that point, that's just genetic coding, because like that's in our fucking genes. Like, I'm sorry. That's not. I agree with. Now, I want to be clear. I think the Earl can do more. I think if you have a year of fucking food, yeah, I'm sure you can get down to 8 months and be okay. But I also understand his point of like, hey, if I let Audrey give like 4 months of food away, at 8 months she's gonna say, Father, can't we just go down to like 6 months? Isn't that like plenty? The war won't last that long. Like, I get, like at some point you have to say like, okay, enough is enough. I don't know. Does he have the right number? I don't fucking know. I don't know. That's a calculation beyond my fucking means. Listen, once I have enough capital, I will let you know, okay? At that moment, she was silent before asking again, but we've already obtained more than what we need. Can't we just share a portion of it? Hibbert interrupted angrily. Why are you giving away the things we painstakingly obtained? This is our land, farmland and forest, what we bought with money. And these funds and assets were passed down the family. It was earned by Father's acumen and powerful charisma, accumulated over generations. Immediately, Hibbert says this like the most fucking retarded way possible. Like, bro, that's not how you go about that argument. That's a fucking retarded argument. Who makes the food? I mean, I mean, they're servants, I guess, Arter? You're clearly saying like, oh, but then like, isn't it unfair that like the servants have to go hungry? Now, I really have to assume that Earl Hall and his family are making sure that like their servants have like enough food at home. I believe that. I believe that Earl Hall has shown that he's like a nice enough person that he would make sure like his servants have like food at home. They're not like suffering. Now, again, what does that mean? Like, oh, but like their like maid kitchens, their kitchen maid's fucking brother could be starving, and it's like, yeah, I guess, but like at some point, how much you can't help it. The truth is, you can't help everyone. You can't. What would you do in this situation, dude? I don't know, Pushkar. I don't have anywhere near the fucking money to even have this conversation. I don't know. Like I am the poor class in this scenario. Do you understand? Like I'm not rich enough to have this conversation. Earl Hall nodded. What Hibbert said is generally right. I share his thoughts as well. No, think more deeply who plants the food. He will spit on the Jesus Christ, McSeely, what the fuck? Come on, you think so poor of me? Come on, you think so poorly of me? You're like, oh my god. I help the poor at the bank, bro. We make sure that like their shit is working. What do you mean? I'm not dealing with like people who have shit tons of money. Well, sometimes. Like I have like a really varied clientele because like I don't have like a client basis. I just like help whoever walks in the branch, books an appointment or whatever. And the poor, they have all the right to take it. So take it. Go on. That scammed old woman. Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't even. Dude, I don't even want to fucking think about that. Like, it actually makes my fucking blood boil. Holy fuck. Like, you're 74 years old. Why the fuck would you think investing in some fucking shit coin would be like through some random dip ass company you read an article about on some fucked up website is like the way to fucking invest? You're like, oh my god. Oh my god, old people frustrate the fuck out of me. Audrey pursed her lips and said, I understand. Earl Hall retracted his gaze and said to Hibbert, we have to keep the food stored properly. If the outcome of the war cannot be reversed, try contacting the fellows from Intes and show them some of our sincerity. The battle has been going on for too long. Quite a number of people have died as well. Many fields have been abandoned and the prices in the cities have soared. Weirdly enough, Wizcoin actually exists. I just looked this up because you guys kept talking about it, so I was like, oh, maybe. This trading volume is so cancerous. What? Look at this. Oh my god. So, in the last 24 hours, its trading volume is $1.40. Circulating supply, 999 million. Fully diluted valuation, 15 grand. Look at this. At some point, its market valuation should have was 3 million, and they rug pulled the fucking shit out of it. October 29th. October 20. 1 month. In 1 month, they stole $3 million. 3.3 million. Dude, who the fuck buys these shit coins? I don't understand. What the fuck is this? What the actual fuck is this? Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's insiders who made $3 million. Who the fuck actually buys this shit, dude? understand. Do not understand. Check the Ankh coin. Okay, we'll do that later. Okay, let me just finish. There must be a very high demand for food, cattle, and land. In addition, I have shares in the Intas Suchet Bank. Suchet? Bank? As well as shares in the Varvet Bank and Backland Bank. I should be able to bribe them. In times like this, only by satisfying these aspects can we talk about familial relationships. Father, are you considering surrendering? Hibbert asked. How can I not, in light of the current situation? When the time comes, you will be the new Earl Hall. Hibbert's heart palpitated, but he was also puzzled. What about you, Father? Both your mother and I are devout believers. We have certain status in the church. When Lone falls and the church is destroyed, the outcome will not be good if we're still unwilling to step down. As long as the family is still around and the title is still there, we won't lose much of our core assets. We won't be in a miserable state for the future. Remember to prepare a secret prayer room for us at home after you convert your fate to the Lord of Steam. As the two of them conversed, Audrey, who was wearing a long golden white dress, listened quietly from afar. Dude, at this point, Audrey's gonna go, I cannot. This is a future I cannot accept. Can you accept this future? I cannot. I will single-handedly make this war change. After repeated attempts, the projection of the altar vanished. The priest said to Gehrman, "It looks like it won't work today. We can try again tomorrow." At that moment, all Klein could think of was, could it be that the ritual was unsuccessful since it appears too perfunctory using the historical void? He reflected on himself deeply and decided to listen to the high priest. They could try again tomorrow. He was about to nod when he heard a faint voice. The voice sounded from deep within the grey fog, layered and indistinct. It's effective. This ritual does work, but the delay is incredible. Klein was delighted as he immediately raised his right hand and pressed down his hat, gesturing for everyone to be silent. He immediately held his breath and listened. The voice that echoed within the grey fog seemed to come from many sources, intertwining with each other, overlapping with each other in a destructive interference and creating a resonance in constructive interference. Gradually, the voice became clearer in Klein's ears, especially when it resonated. It seemed to be a language he was familiar with. It seemed like countless people were chanting a name together. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. Is this place like... Because the celestial worthy of heaven and earth is like the... It's like the thing that... that Klein had to say to go to the Grey Fog for the first time. Well, the enchantment he says all the time, rather. And then we're thinking... Okay, hold on. I'm trying to connect like 3 or 4 dots. That with the Sephira Castle was made from the original creator, because like 9 of those were made. 9 Sephiroth were made. Could the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing be the title or whatever for the original creator? And the place behind the Grey Fog is another Sephiroth, so maybe that's why it's linked to the same thing. Let me cook. Klein is like trying to break into another Sephiroth. Basically like Amon trying to steal the Sephiroth castle. But like since it's of a different pathway, Klein wouldn't be able to probably use it, I guess. But he might be able to go in there briefly to like get what he needs. Maybe it's the one for the darkness or whatever. Maybe the one that the sleepless pathway one. I don't know. It's in the Forsaken Land of the Gods. I don't fucking know. Won't confirm or deny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else. That's all I can think of. Man, we're still getting more fucking questions. What the fuck? We have 150 chapters to wrap this bullshit up, Cuttlefish. What crack are you on to give me more questions right now? Bro, answers. Give me answers. Stop asking more questions. This guy's on fucking crack. Oh my god. When do you plan to read till next stream? I don't fucking know. Someone said like 12:22 was a good place to stop. No? I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere. Also, there's a whole oh, shut the fuck up, Bullseye. Don't even... We don't know. COI... Okay, no, stop. Until we start reading, COI doesn't even exist. Okay, we don't even think about it. Because Romero told me that you can read them in two different... you can read them either... Like, you could read COI first and then LOTM later. So, like, that shit is gonna be its own fucking bullshit, okay? So, like, we don't even worry about that. What do you mean a long stream? It's like 8 chapters. There's no problem. Someone said 12:22, Luvian, but if you want to go to 23, you can go to 23. I got no issues. But no stream tomorrow, just as a heads up. No stream tomorrow. The next stream will be on Saturday. Well, it is highly recommended. Okay. You definitely need to read LTM first. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. In that case, I think we'll end it there, guys. Are you in possession of the Ankh coin? Yeah, but it'll be after the trial, Nagi. So it'll be after the trial. Trust me. I won't overlap it with the trial. I promise. And you definitely need to finish LTM first. Okay. Alright, guys. We'll end stream there. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Have a great rest of your day or nights. I'll catch you on Saturday. If you're new here, consider joining our Discord. Link in the description. Adam, if you're still here, join that fucking Discord. I'm gonna ping you in the morning if you fucking join, okay? You better go to the fucking hospital. Alright, that's it. Bye. Love you guys.